All right, let's try something a little different today. We're not going to be digging into historical facts or breaking down complex data. Nope. Today, we're going to step outside of time itself. We're diving into a thought experiment, one that might just shine a light on the parts of our own lives we speed past every single day. So, here's the big question for you. What if you could pause life? Just for 1 hour. I mean, picture it. You get this one-time chance to press a button, and poof, the entire world just freezes. Everything, everyone, just stops right in the middle of whatever they were doing. For 60 minutes, you're the only one who can move. So, what do you do? And maybe even more importantly, what would you really see? Now, let's get one thing straight. This isn't about, becoming some kind of superhero who can change things or save the day. This pause, it's something else entirely. Think of it more like a gift, the gift of pure, totally uninterrupted perspective. It's like you've been given a front row seat to the greatest play ever staged, the world, and all the actors are just frozen. And this hour, wow, it's completely unique. It's this single 60-minute bubble that exists totally outside of your normal life. No deadlines buzzing, no notifications popping up, no one expecting anything from you. It's just you and the entire world holding its breath, waiting. Okay, so to really make this work, to really get our heads around it, we need some ground rules, right? Every good thought experiment has to have them. So let's break down exactly how this whole thing would work. We're just going to call it the pause. And during the pause, you're it. You're the only one awake, the only one moving, the only conscious observer in a world that's been put on hold. Everybody else, they basically become statues in this incredible living museum of a single moment. An hour usually feels like nothing, right? It just flies by. But think about it this way. That's 3,600 seconds. Suddenly it feels heavy, doesn't it? Every single one of those seconds is a brand new chance to see something, to think something. It's kind of wild. It's both an eternity and just a blink of an eye, all at the same time. All right, the rules of the pause are super simple, but really important. First, you're the only one who's aware of what's happening. Second, and this is a big one, the world is completely untouchable. You can't move anything or interact with anyone. You're kind of like a ghost walking through a photograph. Third, you're totally invisible and silent. And last, when that hour is up, time snaps right back to normal and nobody ever knows anything happened. The biggest rule of all? You can only watch. Okay, so we've got the rules down. Now, instead of just talking about this in the abstract, let's actually bring it to life. Come on, let's walk through a little story, just to get a feel for what this hour of stillness would be like. So picture this. You're on a busy city corner, right? And you hit the button. Instantly. Absolute silence. A taxi is frozen in the middle of a turn. A little kid's balloon is just hanging there in the air. A whole crowd of people are stuck mid-laugh, mid-step, mid-everything. The whole city becomes this incredible, detailed sculpture, frozen right in the middle of one single breath. And in that total, deafening quiet, a thought pops into your head. A really simple but powerful idea that's going to define this whole hour. For the first time, I can actually see. And you realize you've spent your whole life looking at the world, but you've never really truly seen it. You've never seen the tiny little stories playing out on every single face. So what does that hour actually feel like, minute by minute? Well, the first 10 minutes or so are just pure awe. You're walking through this amazing living statue garden. Then, for the next half hour, that awe turns into this deep observation. You start noticing things, like the tiny lines of exhaustion behind someone's polite smile, or the pure, unfiltered joy in the way a couple looks at each other. And then, in those last few minutes, it all comes together. All those little details add up to this huge realization about your own life. Okay, so let's step back out of that story for a second. What does all that silence actually show us? What are the echoes that stick with you long after time starts moving again? Well, here's the heart of it, right? Our normal lives, let's call it life in motion. It's all about constant noise, always pushing forward, always reacting to the next thing. But life in stillness? That's the total opposite. It's quiet observation. It's being right here in the present moment. It's a chance to really think. Honestly, it's the difference between being swept down a raging river and getting to stand on the bank and just watch it go by. And all of this leads to a pretty big question, not for our character in the story, but for you, for me, for all of us, really. Just Think about your days so far. What have you already missed in the rush? The little things, the tiny emotions on people's faces, those little moments of beauty that just get drowned out by the noise of whatever's next. But look, this isn't just a fun little mental game. There are some real practical lessons hidden in here for us. So let's try to take all those feelings from the story and turn them into something tangible, something we can actually use. I think we can boil it all down to three main lessons. First, just observe. See the world and the people around you without judging them, without seeing them as things in your way or things you need. Just see them as they are, each with their own story. Second, start to appreciate the little intricate details. The way light hits a building or the pattern of leaves on the ground, the stuff we normally ignore. And third, use any quiet moment you can find to reflect on yourself, to really ask, hey, is the path I'm on, is it really the one I want to be on? And really, that's the ultimate point of all this. Of course, we don't have a magic button to stop the world, I wish. But the real power of the pause isn't about stopping everything out there. It's a metaphor, right? It's about finding that stillness inside of us, that quiet little space we can retreat to even when everything around us is complete chaos. So let's bring this all full circle, back to where we started, with you. This whole journey we've been on, through the rules, the story, the lessons, it's all been leading right here. Your hour is waiting. Because at the end of the day, I think this quote just nails it. The most incredible journeys we ever take aren't to some faraway place. They're the ones we take inside the quiet corners of our own minds. And the best part, you don't need the world to stop for you to start that journey. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Forget about the magic button for a minute. Just find a quiet second today. Take one deep breath and just look around you. Really look. Your hour, your metaphorical hour, it begins right now. What are you going to see?